If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Welcome back to the Pause Podcast. We're glad to have you here. Hopefully it's not too awkward. Scotty's actually sitting across the room from us, and I think that's going to be my favorite part of this whole episode, is I get to look at him the entire time. But we do have Allie Greene here with us today, and she is ex-D1 athlete, pro, played for the Memphis Grizzlies for a few years, and but hopefully we'll get into an interview-style episode, and she's got a lot to tell about herself, I'm sure, and a lot of things happen in her life. But anything you want to start us off with? What are you doing now?
I'm just excited to be here.
Excited.
We're wrapping up basketball season.
How's that
starting a new
went?
semester. Well, we've struggled with some injuries and sickness, but, my girls get out there and they play hard. That's all you can ask.
It is. That's all you can ask.
Had a big win last night.
Who'd y'all play?
Your alma mater,
Oh,
Wilkes Central.
oh goodness, we're already starting.
Quick
We're already
circle.
starting.
All 4 teams.
What's your team name?
Huh?
What's-
It was Wilkes Central Eagles. Is that what you're talking about? High school?
Who's Almirada?
Alma mater.
It's like
That means that's
What's
where
that?
he went to school.
Oh,
yeah.
I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled. My bad.
Oh gosh.
That'll be a good clip.
Yeah, that will be. All 3 of these boys are
Hold
homeschooled.
on.
Well,
What-
Christian school.
what's the
I was
word?
Christian
That we're not
school,
moving past this till I get the
Alma
word.
mater?
Yeah, what is that?
Alma mater. That's like where you went to, like, your school.
Yeah, it's like where you're.
I know that.
So where
Yeah.
you played at Alabama? I did.
Okay.
You're the one that said it.
Yeah.
I thought it was your name, like you're the Wilkes Central Almoradas or whatever. you call
No.
it.
No.
The Wilkes Central Armadillos.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know what it was.
Oh goodness.
Oh, man.
No. So like Alamance would be your alma mater, where you went to school.
Sure.
I'm glad we're on the
Warriors.
same page now. Glad we're on the same page.
So
I
you
learned a new word.
You said that the season was coming to an end, and growing up in sports, when basketball season came to an end, it was almost like you were sad it was over, but it's like vacation because you stay so busy during the season, like with traveling and games. Is it bitter or sweet?
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
It is very tiring. I think we
Right.
got home at 11:30, 12 last night, and that was a home game. So
Wow.
it was rough, but it is sad. It's hard.
I'll be smoking a lot of cigarettes.
I couldn't imagine being like a parent and like doing all that in additional as well. Because I know Scotty coaches too, like late nights and stuff, and then you got a kid that you got to get ready for. Like, because like even with me now working and stuff, and the full time and like having to do extracurricular things or stay after and like gate duty and stuff. If I had a kid, I'd probably neglect it right now. Like I'm just like go play some video games in the other room. Don't bother me for a few. So how difficult is that?
Well, we're very, very lucky that we have a pretty good kid.
That's good.
She behaves pretty well, does what we say. She rides the bus to our school after her school, and she's a gym rat. So that helps that she loves being in a gym. Mm-hmm. But, we have to do a lot of planning on the front end,
Right.
making sure, like Thursday, we have practice. I wrap up practice. He leaves, takes her to dance, and then we have to go have a little date night, pick her up, go home, plan for the next day. We do, and it's a village too. 'Cause, we couldn't do it without our family either.
Yeah.
Right.
Exact opposite
It's
of my
a-
life. I live day to day.
Definitely time management. That's got to be the biggest thing with
Yes. Yes.
balancing so many different schedules. That's
So do you coach middle school or high school? You might have already told us that.
I'm high school.
Oh, then this is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have any sassy?
I coach
Teammates.
teenage girls.
God bless your soul.
But the thing is, they're not really that sassy to me. But now that my husband is coaching,
Now it's,
they give it to him because he gives it right back to them.
So that means he's more sassy than they are. Is that?
He has to be on the defense all
Yeah.
the time.
yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
quality. Does he enjoy? I guess because that's where that was his background anyway. So
Well,
he.
this is his first year coaching girls. So it's a difference.
He was rubbing his bald head back
you
there.
play ball like a girl. Classic Sandlot quote.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
movie.
think that's the one thing about you're coaching guys versus girls, and it could be different. But I know where I went to school at, the way our coach would come down on us compared to how he would come down on because he coached both the girls and the guys. the way he would come down on us versus how he would come down on the girls, I'd be like, really? Really? You just told me that I was the worst player on this team, and then turn right back around and was like, hey, it's all right, pick it up next play. But it's all good. I think there is a little bit of a maybe a little difference there. So it works.
I tried out for high school basketball.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to say girls.
No, I was like, well, I thought about it. I went to one practice and never showed back up. I went to one tryout. That coach was crazy. He made us run suicides for 30 minutes. There was kids puking in trash cans. I said, I don't need this. And I turned around and walked out. I never went back. I played baseball. That was my thing. Yeah. Basketball, but y'all have seen me play. I've got no hand-eye coordinate. But that ball is horrible out there, number one. It's slicker than snot on a doorknob. That's slick.
That's pretty slick, man.
And I don't know, I'm just big. And so I just move. And then I travel, foul. I hit you 4 or 5 times yesterday. He's such a loving, graceful guy.
No, he's not.
I don't know.
Do it next play.
If it'd been anybody else, we'd have been getting in a fight.
Right.
You got any girls like that are just like
bruisers?
Yeah.
Oh yes. We've got
Bruisers?
Yeah.
We call them
that
bruisers.
name. I like that. I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt.
That was funny. So going back to like your high school transition to college, because you went to college for basketball, is that correct?
Yes.
On a scholarship?
Yes.
What was that beginning point like getting the first offer and things? Like how does that process work?
Well, it was exciting. I grew up, in Wilkes County, and I grew up an App fan. My mom went there. My family was, App fans. I've always wanted to go to App. Mm-hmm. And so, I had a few offers from other places, but, that was the one place that I was going to be a Mountaineer, and had a little difficulty, I went there. I committed my junior year with the coach that I loved, grew up loving, signed with her my senior year, and then she had to retire for health reasons. And new coach came in, and it got a little rocky because I wasn't her recruit.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you play all 4 years?
No. I actually transferred to Lee's McRae.
Lee's McRae.
Prep school.
Played there for a couple years, and I tore my ACL. Never really recuperated, so that's when I went back to App to just be a student.
Wow.
That's the worst. Yeah. That is the worst.
Yeah.
ACL tear.
Did you like it up there?
I loved it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I hate that place. I can't stand Boone, Banner Elk. Sure, that's part of it. The people. I mean, they're nice. Some of them are nice. Yeah. But most of these people from other states move up there. I'm just, what are you doing up here? That's how
well, I'm a little older than you, just a little. And it wasn't quite so crowded when I was there.
It is crowded now.
Yeah, now
it's
completely different now.
Yeah.
But that was just a few years ago.
So,
just a few.
You say you tore your ACL, and I know, like, you see that on ESPN, like a major athlete tears his ACL, and it's kind of one of the same because you said you never really recuperated from it. I mean, that's a scary injury because you never know if you're going to get back to 100%. So kind of what was your mindset after you realized you tore your ACL? Was it, let's try to fight and get back? Or like, where was your mindset when it happened?
Well, I was a fighter. I went to rehab multiple times a day. I tore it during the season, so I was still in school while I had it. And then I went home for the summer and had a good therapist down here, and went back, and it wasn't healing. Like I tore mine in the first half of a game at St. Andrews University, and one of my teammates tore hers in the second half. Mm-hmm. So we had two go down in one game, and hers just she just came back so easy. Yeah, and I had such difficulties, and it was frustrating, but. I came back, I tried it again that season, and I couldn't do the things that I used to, and that's when I kind of turned my love of basketball from playing to coaching.
To coaching, right.
Yeah.
Which I guess that really helps out if you have a student athlete that really gives their all to the game and then has an injury and they have to miss multiple games and they get down and discouraged. I mean, that's a very a good time to tell them about, hey, I went through this, and even if things don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, you can change your mindset, you can flip the script. I think that's important because I can remember my 9th grade year, I had a wrist injury, and I had to sit out 2 games, but the 2 games, they were playoff games. And it hurt, and we ended up making it we won the first 2 playoff games. And I remember coming back the 3rd game and just feeling out of rhythm because, you weren't there with your brothers, grinding it out for those last 2 games. And halfway through the 3rd quarter, I wasn't producing. I wasn't playing hard enough defense. And Coach, I understood why. But he took me out. It was just the chemistry had just been lost because just missing those 2 games. And I remember sitting out, but I remember a guy that come in underneath me who had been with the team, and I traveled with the team, but it wasn't in that game setting. And he come in and he went off. I mean, we were down by like 12. I think we came back and won the game by 3. And I can remember it was a discouraging moment because I realized, man, I thought I had a little bit more of an impact there, but then seeing him do that. So I know injuries can be discouraging, especially for student athletes that put so much time into it. But that's really cool that, once you realize, hey, even though I didn't come back like this girl, I was able to turn it around and use it and put it into something. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have that luck as a coach. I tore my hamstring. My coach put me back in the game. I was hobbling around on one knee out there.
You can still swing. Get in there.
He did. I tore a thing. We was in warm-ups. I didn't stretch. I showed up late. And so we was in the outfield. He was hitting pop flies. We were running through. That thing's going haywire. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyhow, and he was hitting pop flies. We was running to catch them. And I'll never forget, you started, he'd hit it, and boom, you'd take off. I done that. I went boom, and took off my right leg, went pop. I just started rolling. I was like, oh. And he's like, you're fine, get up. And I was like, okay. And so into the game, as we got in there, I was in the outfield, and they hit a ball center field, and so I took off for it, and I was going, hobbling on one leg, looked like a dummy out there.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't get it. I couldn't run. It went way past me. And then by that time, I looked at the coach, I was like, he said, you got to stay out there. And I was like, what's wrong with you, man?
Throw your
good
glove
coach,
at the
good
ball.
coach.
Oh,
He taught me a valuable lesson.
What's that?
Stretch before a game.
Yeah.
I was down for 2 or 3 games with that
And
one.
when you get older, you have to stretch always.
Oh, yeah. It's getting worse now. I put my socks and shoes on, and I pulled my back for some reason. Honestly, I'd done that a while back. I'd been over and put my shoe on, and I come back up, and I was like, huh. I was like, I'm only 24, and I'm starting to get cricks and cracks.
Yeah.
I hear it gets worse. I
It's all
hear that.
downhill from there.
Basketball.
That's lovely.
Like playing high school ball and then like transitioning over to college ball. Like how much of like playing level is it like a big difference from high school level to college?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a job. It's no longer your fun sport.
You're right.
It's a job.
yeah.
Right.
You go from weights in the mornings, conditioning in the afternoons, individual practice, and it's no longer, I've got a 2-hour practice.
Right.
Right. Right.
You're there all day long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the competition harder?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. It's
I think one thing about college athletes for sure, and you've got people that strive and they want to be in that position, and I don't think we realize, we went to an App State basketball game recently, me and Justice, and they lost, but there was a guy there, he was an NBA prospect, and we could just tell he was just head and shoulders above all the competition. I mean, he was 6'5", but I mean, he was playing defense on App State's biggest, 6'8", 6'9" guys. And, when as a coach and even when you were as a student athlete, when could you kind of tell like, okay, I'm actually like, I'm an athlete. Like I can go to college for this because I've never had that moment because I'm
When
not
did
a
you
good
know
athlete.
you were good?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When did
dawned
you
on
realize,
you.
this,
I'm better than everybody else.
yeah,
right
when
now.
did you think, you know what,
I'm
you guys are
D1
terrible.
material.
well, so I had an older sister. She was 5 years older than me, and she loved sports too, especially basketball. And obviously, if she's 5 years older than me, she's going to be better than me. Right. And so she was always at practice. She started to play in AAU basketball when she was younger, and I was in a gym. Every time she was in a gym, I was in a gym. And her coach, he grew up, like I grew up with him. He was more like a big brother or a dad. And, I got to do everything they did. Like I did the drills on the side. And she's the reason, and my dad especially, they always pushed me. And, my sister, she stopped growing in about, 6th grade. And so I kept growing and got a little taller than her, and I eventually got to where I could beat her. But that's when I started. I had the skills a lot younger than other people because I was always with her in practice. Right. And I started playing travel ball and playing on I got picked for a couple special Team North Carolina teams.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got to play with some girls who went to Carolina and stayed and eventually made their way to the WNBA. And
Wow.
I was just excited just to be on the same bench as them.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But, from an early age, I was pushed a lot by my parents and coaches and family. And
Oh, that's the key.
but I loved it too.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad push we see sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
No, I wanted to be there.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
Was there a
Good to have
point?
somebody that'll push you.
Yeah. Was there a point that you got like burnout? Like I'm thinking about like just throwing it in before the tear.
There were times when I would be tired, and we had a good friend who she went to West Wilkes. She was older than my sister, but she played at Appalachian, and when I was little, I wanted to be her. Her name was Lee Jones. And actually, when I signed with App, she was an assistant coach at App. And when I got to know her, because she was in college and my sister was in high school, and she would come home and train my sister. I never got to train with her because she became an assistant at App, and so it would have been illegal for her to train me at that point.
That's really.
That's messing with NCAA guidelines.
Yeah. So
I didn't know. I'm asking.
Yeah. But she was. Where was I going with this?
Sorry,
Burnout.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you I did
it's
that.
your fault. No, I'm just kidding. She talked to my parents probably my junior, senior year-ish, and said in her experience growing up, her dad always gave her a month off. Yeah. And so, I would go all through high school season. I would jump in straight into AAU as soon as high school was over, spring, summer. And so I would always take August off. Right. I would start the school year with my high school volleyball team, not pick up a basketball for the month of August. And then September, I'd hit the ground running again.
That's important. I think a mental break and a physical break to just kind of relax and not think about what you're focusing on. I think that helps. We talked about focus a lot in one of our recent episodes, and I think that having that escape to where you can just not think about that for a little while and get back to it, you kind of come back better almost because you've been refreshed.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Because you keep trying to go too much and you completely burn yourself out.
Oh, yeah. And that's with anything, I think. Anything.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more often nowadays too. It's like kids are born and raised, and it's just sport year round. And then by the time they're in high school, I mean they're
done with it.
But they're fantastic athletes.
Yeah.
Like they're D2, D1 material, but they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I played so much as a kid. Yeah, when I got to high school, I was kind of like, my senior year, I didn't even play.
Wow.
No, I didn't.
Did you not play for college?
I played on the college softball team.
Oh.
Softball.
No disrespect. I didn't say anything.
I was horrible, man. Trying to catch a softball was a totally different game. That thing would sit here and knuckleball in there and be like, what is this thing doing? And in tryouts, they hit a pop fly, and I lost it in the stadium lights. And I was like, uh-oh. And so I immediately was kind of like, I'm bailing off this. I don't know where it's at. And the last second, I seen it. And I was like, and went like that. And then it was so close, I knew I couldn't catch it. So I went, that thing busted me in the side of the ear. It busted my ear open. I got up, and I was like, oh. My buddy Blake says, I think you missed it. And I was like,
Great teammate.
pause. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, college softball, I mean.
So speaking of like high school sports and what you're doing now, what do you think? Because I know like a lot of freshmen will come in from like middle school, and obviously not everyone makes the team that tries out. But if there was like a few attributes or a few things that they could do, like I think we talked about this beforehand, if they are not just genuinely the best athlete, what else are you looking for?
Well, I have girls that have came in and they just don't have enough talent to be on the team yet.
Right.
I always try to find them a place in our program.
Yeah.
Right now we have a girl who's doing stats for us.
Yeah.
She tried out, didn't make the team. she's doing stats. We had a girl that we initially cut, and she really wanted to be there, and we told her that she could come pretty much be a practice player, work on next year. Didn't really guarantee her any time at all, but, you know, she just wanted to be a part of the team and work on it. So I think there's I try to make opportunities for kids.
Right.
We call them student managers.
Right.
And so we've had several student managers throughout my years there. So
Wow.
So here's the real question.
Hold on.
And there's not going to be no disrespect. You tell us the truth if you want to. Are you a winner either way, coach, or are you like, look, we lost. We are losers. We are not winners tonight. We are losers.
Well, I have a quote, I guess you would say.
Hope Scotty's ready for this name.
He's heard this before. It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And we talk about what we did wrong after games, and it's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And there has been post-game talks this year that you made mistakes because you made the same mistake last game and you didn't fix it. And it's fixable.
We're losers because of it.
Maybe not that.
Maybe not losers, Dylan. Jeez.
Yes.
We lost. If you lose a game, you're a loser.
That is
You and
true.
Justice are losers. Y'all lost 2 out of 3 games yesterday in basketball.
You ate a snail.
I did. I did.
Who's the
I
real
swallowed
loser?
that thing.
I don't
We were going to
know.
get y'all to eat snails and
I
octopuses.
told him no. I've seen the chip video. No.
No, that was horrible. I'll never do that again. No, yeah, the snail. We still got them in the trash if you want some.
No.
Oh, man.
That was horrible, man.
Well, I guess I have another question because you alluded to this earlier, but you said there was a coaching change after you got the app. Now, I know, like, sometimes, especially with college coaches, like you said, he wasn't, or she or she wasn't, you wasn't their recruit. And so is that one of those situations where, okay, this is not my recruit. I need to make sure I'm the one that changes the program, changes it. Like, so I need to find somebody else that can kind of fill that role that I can say, oh, yeah, I recruited this person and put them in place.
I don't think I was her style of player.
I got you.
I was, I played point guard in high school because I had the best ball handling skills. But in college, I was a shooting guard. And I don't think I was her style of player. And
Right.
coaches have different styles.
Right.
Some people are running gun. Some people are slow it down. Some people are in your face man. Some people like the zone defense. I think she had a preconceived notion that I was not going to fit in anything. And
Yeah. And that's tough too.
What's her
because
name? Let's call her out right now.
And that's true too, because you mentioned from a point guard to a shooting guard, so you're on the ball all the time, and you've got the ball in your hands, you're helping run in the offense, and then you go to a role that's a little bit more you're around the key, around the perimeter, and trying to find the shot and everything like that. And I know that can be difficult because Justice, I've been playing ball with him since I was a kid, and he's a ball hog. I love him to death.
No, Jeremy Green's a ball hog.
Okay, Jeremy is too, but Justice is also a ball hog.
But he
You're not a
makes
ball
shots.
hog if you make the shot.
That's what I was about to say. I'll give him the ball because he's very consistent.
That's true.
you can back it up.
But I've been playing with him for so long, and
That's funny.
and
I watched you shoot some layups yesterday. I was like, what is he doing?
and with Justice, like we grew up playing at like youth camps together and stuff like that, and predominantly he wants to bring the ball down the court. But he's going to pull up as soon as he crosses half court. I mean,
Why not?
man thinks he's Stephen Curry, but
Why
he
not let
does.
it fly?
I will say this: he
Let it
does
fly.
make most of his
check.
shots. He does make most of his shots, but it's fun because if he ever does miss one, it's going to be like, well, you're shooting from 40 feet away. I mean, that's why you missed it.
Then you know what he's going to say. I made the other 3, though.
He's
Give me
a
the
good
next
ball player.
one. Let me try again.
You want to do it again? I'll do it again. Pull up right now.
My family always said I was a ball hog too. And once we I stopped playing college ball. I started coaching travel ball, and my sister was coaching with me. And we were scrimmaging our team. They were, I think, 13 maybe at the time. And she was dribbling the ball down the court, and I was on her team, and I came behind her and stole the ball from her.
Wow.
And shot. So, yeah.
You know as
They
good as
say
I
I'll
can.
handle this.
So I guess to conclude, if there were one big main goal, because I understand that you're a PE teacher, you're over at West, and there's coaching, you've got a family now. But if there's one big goal or desire that you have, like leave an impact or some sort something in that peripheral, what would it be now? What is the goal now for you?
You know, I'm a basketball coach. I'm a teacher. That is my way to. That's my way to reach kids. I tell my girls all the time, I'm your basketball coach, but there's more to life than basketball. Mm-hmm. You have to learn to be good friends, good teammates. You're going to be future mothers. You're going to be future citizens. And we bring in, a lot of coaches don't want to bring in religion, but, we pray with our kids for every game. We'll do special prayers, especially my husband. That's our goal.
Right.
We want to show them a godly marriage, a godly family.
Right. That's good.
Sometimes we can't come out and say that in education.
Right.
But you can always be the vision of it.
Live it.
Yeah. And that's our goal. And we're not perfect. We screw up all the time.
Right.
I think that's being a Christian,
right.
Yeah.
Scotty's pointing at himself right now.
Me too.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, that's always been our goal. That's why we are teachers. We say all the time, man, we could make more money doing something else. But God provides. We have a house, we have cars, we have a wonderful family. We love our students, most of the time, and our girls. We love our team, our team. But that's what it is. That we've had moments where, he was in the hospital for a hot second. Anytime anything happens, it's not our girls sending us texts. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see.
That's an impact. That's a lasting impact that you can say these girls, they've went through your program and you've coached them, and they can say that, this has stuck out to me. And that's awesome. I think making a difference in schools, making a difference in sports, I think that's where it is, because I think so many times it does get put win, 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 win.
Yeah.
And winning is fun, but if you're not doing anything to help those that you're over, I mean, it's kind of like a lost cause. So that's amazing to hear. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on.
That's been fun.
Hope you enjoyed. We got a bunch of sweet candies for Ella, so hopefully she enjoys those.
Ella?
Yeah, that's
Ella.
My bad. I've been calling you. Oh, is you?
No,
you-
I'm Allie.
Okay,
Her
I was
daughter.
about to say,
Daughter
my
is
bad.
Ella. She is with my mom at church. We have an event tomorrow.
Oh, by the
And
way,
So
her mom was my kindergarten
Yes.
teacher. We
Yes.
just found that out before the podcast.
yes,
Blew my mind. How's she doing? I ain't seen her in forever.
she's great. She's the exact same. She's always smiling.
Last time I seen her was about 2 years ago, or a couple
Yeah.
years ago, and it was at a funeral. Let's see her. I
She's-
don't know. I can't remember where I saw her, but she looked the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, Miss Absher? She said, Dylan? I was like, yeah. I still call her Miss Absher.
Yes.
And that's how she'll ever be remembered. That and Miss Martin. Those are my two teachers I remember from Rowan River. So, anyhow,
Wow.
that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about.
We told you he's like he chases
he's all over
everything.
the place.
It's okay. If you knew her,
I got ADD.
if you knew her, you would talk about her too.
Yeah.
Like she's amazing.
Yeah.
Like all her students, that's how they see her. And
Exactly.
like my girls, they didn't have her as teacher, but they have her as like the team grandma.
Yeah.
They don't call her Miss Absher. They call her Mim because that's what her grandkids call her.
Yeah.
So
Mim.
he's on point. He really is. He's on point.
She's a legend, local
Yes.
legend.
Local legend.
She is.
She's the next
She
guest.
really is.
She was
Yeah.
my dad's kindergarten teacher.
Yes.
Wow.
Whoa.
Talk about an
Yeah.
impact.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But also, we're not that. Anyhow, go ahead.
She taught for 39 years.
Wow.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And she
Yes.
finally hung it up.
She has
She still.
the
Never mind.
patience
If she
of,
quit, she
I
quit.
don't know.
You got to be patient to have.
Do you ever really quit teaching?
No.
Yeah.
No.
But hey,
I
thanks
could.
for joining
Thanks
us,
for joining
and we're
us.
glad you came in
Thank you
today.
for having me.
And Scotty's coming up next, so we're hoping he's just as excited as Allie was. But stay tuned and have a good week, and we will see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.